From the first moment I walked through the door of the small massage studio, something in the atmosphere seemed different. There was a palpable calmness, as if the place was designed for one to leave all problems outside. The scent of essential oils filled the air, and a soft instrumental melody floated in the background, creating an almost magical atmosphere. It was then that I met him. His name was Andres, a blind masseur with an impressive ability to read people even without seeing them. Welcome to your favorite channel, Pride Chronicles. We have seen that more than 90% of the people are not subscribed. Therefore, to not miss any video, subscribe and like the video. Let's start. Enjoy the story. Andres had a calm voice with an intonation that conveyed confidence and security. When he greeted me, he extended his hand to greet me, and although he knew he could not see me, his smile was genuine, as if he could feel my presence beyond the physical. He explained how his sessions worked and asked me a few questions about my physical and emotional state. As he spoke, I noticed that Andres had a unique ability to interpret my answers as if he could perceive beyond words. The first session was eye-opening. As Andres worked with precision on my tight muscles, I felt my body begin to relax. But it wasn't just his technical skill that struck me, it was the way he seemed to connect with me on a deeper level. At one point, as he applied pressure to my back, he made a comment that left me speechless. Sometimes people hold tensions not only in their bodies, but in their souls, he said, with a serenity that made me feel completely exposed. I remained silent, but my thoughts swirled. How could someone who didn't know me perceive so much? During that first session, Andrew not only relieved my muscle tension, but he left an imprint on my mind that I could not ignore. I returned to Andres' studio several times after that first session. Each visit became a space of tranquility and reflection. Without realizing it, I began to open up to him, talking about my work, my dreams, and eventually aspects of my personal life that I had never shared with anyone outside my inner circle. There was something about Andres that inspired confidence, as if his lack of vision allowed him to see things in a way that others could not. Are you liking the video so far? As we know you are, leave us a like and subscribe to the best storytelling channel on the internet. Let's keep going. It was during one of these sessions that something happened that would change our relationship forever. While Andres was working on my shoulders, he made a casual comment that left me paralyzed. You know, the way you talk, I'd say you're a sensitive person, someone who feels intensely. I didn't know how to respond. My heart began to beat faster and heat rose to my face. I wasn't sure if he meant it as an innocent remark or if there was more behind his words. I decided to keep the conversation light and responded with a nervous laugh. I guess so. I've always been told I'm quite expressive. Andres said nothing more, but I felt he had picked up on something. From that moment on, our conversations took a different direction. Although he never said it directly, he gave the impression that he knew something about me that I had not verbalized. Little by little, I realized that although Andres could not see me, he perceived my emotions with a clarity that was both frightening and fascinating at the same time. One afternoon, after a particularly relaxing session, Andres invited me to stay a little longer. He said he enjoyed talking with me, that my visits had added something special to his routine. I accepted, grateful for the opportunity to spend more time with him. We sat in his small living room, surrounded by Braille books and plants that filled the space with life. Andres made tea, and as he poured it, he asked me something I wasn't expecting. Have you ever felt that you carry a part of yourself hidden away, as if you were afraid the world wouldn't understand it? His question hit me hard. It was as if he had been waiting for the right moment to open that door. I took a sip of tea to buy time, but I knew Andrew wasn't expecting an immediate answer. Finally, I decided to be honest. Yes, I have felt it. Sometimes I think there are things about me that are easier to keep secret. Andres nodded as if he understood perfectly. Then, in a soft but firm voice, he said something that took my breath away. Hey, wait. Before we continue, we invite you to give us a like and subscribe to the channel. Also comment if you want to hear a particular story. Let's continue. You don't have to tell me what it is, but I want you to know that there are no judgments here, only acceptance. It was at that moment that I knew that Andres had not only sensed my sexual orientation, but was also giving me a safe space to be myself. I felt a mixture of relief and fear, but mostly gratitude. I thanked him with a smile, and for the first time in a long time, I felt like I could be completely authentic with someone. Over time, our conversations became more personal, more intimate. Andres began to share parts of his own life, including the fact that he was also gay. He told me about the difficulties he had faced in accepting himself, especially in a world that often does not understand people who are different. His story touched me deeply, and my admiration for him grew even more. One night, after a long conversation, the unexpected happened. We were sitting on his couch, and the silence between us was comfortable, almost charged with meaning. Andrew turned his face towards me, and although he couldn't see me, he seemed to know exactly where I was. With a mixture of nerves and determination, I moved closer, and without much thought, our lips met. The kiss was soft, full of pent-up emotions, and a connection I had never felt before. It was as if everything we had shared up to that moment had led to that instant. After that, we decided to move to the bed. We were going to join in a more intimate way. We started kissing passionately and ended up pleasuring each other in ways neither of us had ever experienced before. When we separated, Andres smiled and said something I will never forget. "I don't need to see you to know how I feel about you. Hey, please don't forget to subscribe and like us for more content like this. It helps us to grow this community more. Let's continue." From that night on, our relationship changed completely. We started seeing each other outside of the massage studio, exploring the city together, and discovering new ways to share our life. Andres taught me to appreciate things from a completely different perspective, while I tried to show him a world full of colors and textures that he could experience in other ways. Every day with Andres was a reminder that love transcends barriers, whether physical or emotional. Our relationship not only helped me to accept myself, but also to appreciate the beauty of human connections in their purest form. And while our journey wasn't always easy, we both knew that what we had was real, something worth protecting and celebrating. Our relationship developed naturally, without rushing or unrealistic expectations. Every encounter with Andres was a discovery. I learned to understand his world, one in which the senses are amplified and emotions are felt with a depth I had never experienced before. For his part, Andres taught me to appreciate the little things, those we often overlook. His way of describing the textures, sounds, and energy of places made me see life from a whole new angle. There were memorable moments that further strengthened our bond. I remember one afternoon in particular when we decided to cook together at his house. Andres, with his impeccable ability to handle himself in the kitchen, guided me through the preparation of a dish I had never tried before. Between laughter, jokes, and a few accidents with the ingredients, we ended up preparing a delicious dinner. As we ate, he told me about his passion for flavors and how, for him, every meal was a complete sensory experience. It was at that moment that I realized how deeply Andres lived each moment. Despite our connection, it wasn't all plain sailing. Like any couple, we faced challenges. One of the biggest tests was dealing with the doubts I still had about how to face the world as an open and visible couple. Andres, with his wisdom and patience, never pressured me. Instead, he offered me his unconditional support, reminding me that our love did not need external validation. Over time, my confidence grew. Andres and I became a team, a mutual refuge where we could both be authentic. Every day with him was an opportunity to learn, to love, and to build a future full of possibilities. He not only changed my life, but enriched it in ways I never thought possible. That's all for today. If you liked the video and this story surprised you, leave us a like and share it with your friends so they don't miss it.